Imagine creating clean, modern, premium-looking animations in your videos in just a few clicks, without spending much time tweaking keyframes or setting everything up. Instead of spending hours adjusting curves and wasting time trying to get your animations to look right, or even worse, dealing with tools that still require a lot of setup, the Glory Animator makes it simple. It is so easy to use that even if you are a beginner and you have never animated before, you can download it right now, drag and drop it onto your image or clip, and instantly get clean, professional looking animations. So in this video, I will show you the easiest way to animate anything on the edit page of DaVinci Resolve using the Glory Animator. Before we dive in, the Glory Animator actually comes in two parts: the Glory Instant Animator and the Glory Precision Animator. We will start with the Instant Animator, and I will cover the Precision Animator later. Okay, so let's dive in. So here we are on the edit page of DaVinci Resolve. I have this particular thumbnail I made for one of my videos. So let's grab it and use it for this example. I have this thumbnail. Let's size it down. To size it down, let's use a mask. I have this ellipse mask and a rectangle mask, but this one is both. You can switch between both of them, and even polygon mask. By the way, it is in the description below. If you want it, you can grab it there. So as you can see, once you drop it, it automatically masks your footage or clip. Here you can switch either you want it to be an ellipse or even a polygon, and you can start drawing. But this is not what we are doing today. Here are the controls. In this case, we are just using the rectangle. So let's use the rectangle mask. And then the controls will go to the rectangle controls. We have to make it a little smaller. So in this case, let's make it like this. Let's add the simple stroke so we can see our image. And let's add the bevel. So I have this bevel. You can also get it in the description. So we have something like this. With all of this set, now let's start with the Glory Instant Animator. Go to Effects and go to Effects. And under Effects, you will see Glory Suite. Now, from there, you can see all your effects. And from the Effect Glory Animation, here's where you will see all kinds of animations. This is the one we are looking for, the Glory Animator. You drag it and drop it on your clip or image like this. And by default, it will slide in from left like this. So that is the default. It's like that. How do we actually use it? To make any changes, go to this Effect tab and select the name of this particular effect, Glory Animator. And now once you click it, you have different kinds of controls. We have the timing that controls the time, and the animation direction. Global controls, you go through all of them, and you can turn on motion blur after you have done whatever you are happy with. But the motion blur can be resource intense, so I recommend you turn it on after you are done with all your animations. You can add the markers and then take note so that you can come back to add it. So now to start the animation direction, here's where you select which control you want to animate. By default, it is set to horizontal. So if you don't make any changes at all, it will start from here, then slide in. If you change from horizontal to vertical and you play it again, it will now, you see that if you change the vertical to, let's say, size or scale, it now will see that. And also the rotation, to give you the same thing by default. It is now here and it will rotate. So that depends on you. Which direction do you want the animation to go? You choose that particular control and then you now choose how you want it to be animated. Now, anything we will discuss applies to all of them. So now if you set your motion type or the control you want to animate to horizontal, here are the controls for the horizontal. So let's say you don't want it to start from the beginning to the center. But what you want is, you want it to start, let's say, from here on screen. You don't want it off screen, but you want it on screen from here. So that will be the start position where you want it to start. And then let's say at the end of the animation, you want it to be here. So you also set the end position. Say for example, like this. So now you go to the start position and instead of it originally being off screen, it won't. It will be at your start position. And when you animate it, it will then slide into the position you set it to end. That applies to any other control. What if you don't really like the timing? You want to change the timing. That is where these timing controls come in. So for example, instead of starting all the way from 0 to this, you can say, okay, that is not what you want. So you want it to start here. And you can, as you place your playhead there, you can just click set start. And it will register that particular frame as the starting point of your animation. And now, wherever it is that you want it to end, you can go there and set end. And that will register as the end of the animation. As you can see, these set start and set end buttons are controlling the start time and the end time sliders. So now, with this, when you play go to start, the playhead will jump to the keyframe where you set it to start, like this. And when you press go to end, it will also go to the end of that keyframe. And now with this, if you place your playhead here, it will not animate until you get to that particular point that you set for the animation to begin before it actually animates. It starts like this. How about the different kinds of animations? Now what you are going to do is, since the controls are here on the x-axis, what you will do is, if you want it to animate back to where it started, you check this back. This means when it ends the animation, it will then go back to where it started at the end of your clip. Oh, start, and at the end of the clip, it will animate back to the original position. How about this swap? What it does is it exchanges the animation. So if we turn it on, it will animate from there to this side. Like before, we were animating from left to right. And now, because we turn on the swap, it will animate from the right to the left. That's what that does. If you don't want it to animate back, you can just turn it this one off and check that, and now it will only animate there and it won't come back. So that's basically how it works. If you are happy with what you have, your timing and all of that, and now you want to change, let's say, the animation style, how you want it, the curve, you can either use this curve, custom curve, and use these handles like this to control how it moves. So you have something like this. See, that is different from what we started with. Or if you don't want to use the curve tool, what you can do is you keep your easing and you can choose from here. Maybe you want it to bounce. So now When you go to start and you play, it will bounce. Let's say you don't want that and what you want is elastic. When you go to start, it will then give you elastic animation. So basically that is it. It works for all of them. Here is the animation speed. If you increase this number, the animation will be increased. So let's say we set this to expo, that is the smoothest. And now the timing will be normal, like that. If we choose to increase the speed, let's say for example, like let's say 2, that will be 2 times the speed. And when we go back, go to start and you play, it will be faster. Let's make it 4 so you can see how fast it will be. Go to start. Now you see it will be very fast. And you can also say, oh, okay, you want it to end after 3 seconds. So can set this and set this one to 0 and it will take 3 seconds. The animation is in seconds. That is why this one is called Glory Instant Animator, because the timing is in seconds. Now the animation will take 3 seconds to finish. Let's go back. Okay. Even if you set it to any of the styles, it will still take the same 3 seconds. So the animation delay can be used to control the delay of the animation. So like this, if you don't want to be using the timing controls, you can just say, okay, you want it to delay for this long before it actually starts. And it will delay for that long before it starts. So that's something to keep in mind. And when you are entering this number, I recommend using the slider, because if you enter a number here and for example, let's say what you are entering is 2, right? You want to enter just 2. You mistakenly enter something like 20. Entire thing will play out and there will be no animation, because you are telling it to start at a particular point which is not the length of your clip. So you keep that in mind. When you choose the delay, there is something you have to be careful about. The back doesn't work that well when you choose the delay. So it's really something to keep in mind. You see that? So yeah, if you choose delay, it affects the back animation. It doesn't animate back. So I would recommend, if you know you will use the delay, then I recommend you use the time sliders, because that one will help you to animate in any direction without having any problems. And the good thing is, once you set this up the way we have set it up now, and let's say we set it to delay. Okay. So now if we switch, let's say go to start. Now horizontal, if we switch to vertical, it will still take that same settings to animate. You see that? If we also choose to go to the size, when we switch, let's go to start, it will not animate. See that until you get to that particular point. So these controls will affect anything else. If you want to make any changes, for example, now that you set it to size, here are the size controls, where you can now adjust how you want the start to be and the end of the animation, how you want it to be. So basically that is it for the Glory Animator. And also remember to turn on your motion blur only after the animation, because it can be very resource intense. And one thing, this global controls, that will control everything. We set this global controls to something like this. The size, we want it to be like this. So if we switch between, let's say, horizontal, the size will remain the same. Vertical, it will be the same thing. See that? Then let's say rotation. Go to start to rotate with that size in mind. So that is something to keep in mind. So what's the real difference between the instant and the precision animator? And which one should you actually use? Well, to learn more about that, watch this video next.